Okay, so hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the chapter number 2 of this book, You Incorporated, Your Career is Your Business. We discussed a kind of an overview and the first chapter of this book in detail in the previous video, and I have actually created a playlist. If you go into my the details of my YouTube channel, under the playlist tab you will find two playlists. One is for this one, an era of darkness, I've created for this one, and for the You Incorporated book as well. Okay, and you will find the first chapter and all the basic overview of what this book is basically about and or what you can expect from this video series, from this series based on this book. And it was, the last video was kind of a bit long, so I have this time decided to divide the chapter into multiple parts and then divide those parts into multiple chapters. Okay, into multiple, sorry, videos. Okay, and that's why that's how the number of minutes per video will be greatly decreased, and I hope it's going to cause a bit of convenience for you to complete this playlist. Okay, so in today's video, the chapter is second, named Employability. Okay, and we are going to discuss in this part, in this video, is the question. We are going to revolve around the question that what is basically employability. So as per the definition of provided by the author, which she uses in her own company, Lee Hecht Harrison, which is an outplacement firm. The definition that is followed in the author's own company is basically that it is based on 2 points. So employability is the capacity, attitude, and disposition to add value and develop skills necessary for tasks in job, and developing contacts to find or maintain space for professional contributions. For example, a job or client for our service. Okay, so it is a bit of a long definition, but I think it kind of sums it all up in a way that employability is basically a sum of the person's ability, a person's capacity to do things, to learn things for a particular job, his attitude towards that particular job, and his disposition. Well, the word disposition in itself means that the disposition is varying person by person, person to person. Okay, so you, person who is currently listening to my video, has a separate disposition, and I will have my own unique disposition. Disposition is the inherent qualities and character of a person. Okay, to brief it. And so the first thing is to learn to have the capacity, attitude, and disposition to add value and develop skills necessary for a particular job, and to develop contacts to find or maintain space for professional contributions such as completing a job or to satisfying one of your clients. Okay, so one thing we should discuss in advance before I proceed further is that all the things that I'm going to discuss in this particular video series about this particular book, these are going to apply in case of a person who is basically employed in some company, or a person, it can also be employed to any person who is self-employed. Okay, like a person who has a freelance business, or maybe who provides some sort of services to multiple companies, and so on, some kind of self-employment. So it is not only limited to an employment side of the business. Okay, it is relevant to both sides of things. And so, to sum it up, I just read the complete definition of employability in front of you. Okay, now further, when you proceed reading the chapter further, there are two questions that you should always ask yourself. First one is, what skills do I need to have or develop if I need to find a job? And the second question is, what value must I contribute to keep my job or improve my performance? Okay, and the purpose of basically these two questions is to stay relevant in your particular target market in which you are pursuing a career currently, and to be known, to be acknowledged for your services. Okay, to stay relevant, to stay known in the target market, to be recognized in the target market among your colleagues, among the other companies. Okay, because when you practically speaking, when you work in a company, one way or the other, the people, the management sitting in another company also know, in, you can say, through a second hand source, through one of their colleague or one of their friends and so on and so forth, who has some or who is basically working in the company in which you are employed, or who has some friend or associate who is working in the company in which you are employed. So the when you if you haven't started a job yet, or if you are currently pursuing a job, then you must know it already that when you start doing a particular job in a particular industry, then as the time moves forward, you will get to know, you realize these things, that how strongly interconnected each and every person is in your particular target industry or target market. So it's to stay relevant. The purpose of these two questions that I just mentioned earlier is to stay relevant, to be known and valued in the particular job market. Okay, so the purpose of that particular definition that I mentioned at the start of the video is to always keep asking yourself these two questions, that what skills do I need or to develop in order to find a job, or in order to maintain a job, and what sort of context do I need to maintain in order to keep my job, and in order to keep searching for better opportunity, or in order to search for an opportunity in case I get chopped off from my current company. Okay, and the third point, which I will mention here as a summary of this complete, the first part of this chapter, which this whole video is about, is that the demand of your services is directly proportional to your employability level. Okay, so if the skills that you have developed over a period of time are in demand in the target job market in which you plan to do a job, or in which you are currently pursuing a career, then you are highly employable. If you have a set of skills that is not particularly in demand in that target market in which you want to pursue a career, or you are already pursuing a career, then your employability level is low. Then you have a low rate of, you can say, you have a low level of employability. Okay, so there are multiple definitions of employability, but core definition the core of all these definitions that I have summed up for this particular video are two main factors. Okay, the first one is to develop skills, the particular skills, knowledge, and contacts in order to find a job in that industry, or to maintain or update or keep them up to date, those skills, that level of knowledge, and your contacts in order to maintain your job in that industry, or to keep searching for better opportunities, or to get better opportunities in that particular target market. Okay, so the main elements of the term employability are quality and time, because in service oriented industries like I am in accountancy industry, like people who are software engineers, who are robotics engineers, who are providing some sort of service in any target market or in any industry. The two main core components on which any person's you can say efficiency, or any employee or any resources employability is measured one way or the other from its own companies, from the company's side, are based on two things: time, how much time you spend on doing a particular job, or and quality, that what is the quality of that job that you have done for them. Okay. um, and the last point for this video is that in this book, in order to sustain your employability, it is written that you should have a job that demands from you to apply your skills, knowledge, and experience in the most broad spectrum possible. Okay, so what does that specifically mean? It basically means that, for example, I can give only example of my background and my industry. So I will start from that, and you can, you can relate with that example that I will give in your own relevant particular industry. Okay. So for example, in accounting field or in the chartered accountancy field, there are 4 to 5 departments usually in every accounting or audit firm. Okay. In audit firm, there are 2 additional departments, like there is one internal audit and the other is external audit. And in the usual accountancy firm, in an accountancy firm, there are, you can say, there is a bookkeeping department, there is a annual accounts department, there is a management accounts department, there is a credit control department, there is a VAT department. Okay, so these are multiple side of the same thing that we study over a period of time. So the point that this subchapter is trying to communicate here is that in order to a person who is applying his knowledge that he studied in a more practical way, all of his knowledge in a practical way, is much more employable than a person who has studied all of those things that I just mentioned but is only applying one of them. Okay. For example, if I have studied all of the VAT accounts, management accounts, and internal audit, external audit, and so on, etc., and I am working in, for example, VAT department. Okay. So all of those knowledge and all the relevant skills that I learned in particular to all those 4 to 5 departments, I am applying only one skill, which is regarding the VAT department. Okay. And so that's why my specialization and my expertise will going to get developed only in that particular field and not in those 4 particular fields. Okay. So this is quite common in any industry. I'm just giving an example of my industry, but it is quite common all around every other industry also, because it is usually the companies are structured that way, that there's usually a structure of departmentalization rather than client-based approach. Okay, so that's why a person who is basically practicing, who is doing preparing the annual accounts, the VAT, the management accounts, the self-assessment, and all, etc., of the same particular client is more employable, has a greater level of employability than a person who is just preparing the VAT returns or just preparing the management accounts, So I hope you get the point. So these were all the points that I wanted to communicate in this particular video. This was a sub-chapter, and we discussed today what is employability, what are the different types of employability, what are the different definitions of employability, what are the core elements of employability, and just a basic overview of what are the scenarios when a person's employability level is high as compared to what are the situations in which a person's employability level are lower. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.